One of the first things that we South Asian people do when we want to start dieting is move from white rice to brown rice or quinoa. Is it necessary? If you love the taste of brown rice or quinoa more than white rice, then don't watch this video. Go and enjoy your bowl of quinoa. Otherwise, watch the full video. And before that, here's a shout out to Gaurav Pandey. Gaurav watches all my videos. The first thing he does is to hit the like button because Gaurav Pandey knows the content will be great. Gaurav Pandey rocks. Be like Gaurav Pandey and make sure to hit the like button. Thank you. Now between white rice and brown rice and quinoa, let's compare some stats. By the way, these values are all not obsolete but are relatively a decent approximation to understand them. Also, one thing to note is people usually compare calories and nutrients of cooked food. That's not the right way to do it. Even when you are counting calories of the foods that you are eating, always calculate the calories of the raw ingredients. Cooking techniques vary and some of you may cook your food dry, someone watery. All this changes the water content in the food and therefore the weight of cooked food. So always calculate calories of raw ingredients and that way it's more accurate. Now back to the chart. If you compare the calories of white rice, brown rice and quinoa, white rice has the lowest calories and quinoa the highest, though not by a big margin. But it is clear that there is no big benefit in terms of calories by switching from white rice to brown rice or quinoa. But then, why do we gain more weight eating white rice than brown or quinoa? Because it tastes better and we eat more of it. Here's something to note. Most of us don't ever weigh our foods. We eat how our heart feels. This is where brown rice and quinoa have an advantage. They both taste like crap, so you eat less of it. To me, brown rice is okay, but quinoa is simply unmanageable. So when it tastes bad, you can't overeat it. And mostly you are going to eat less than what you used to do. So you are in a calorie deficit and lose weight. But if you are someone that likes brown rice and quinoa, then you don't even have this advantage. Think of it. But is this the way to sustainably lose weight? You don't shift to something because you don't like it. Though in the short term, you will eat less and lose weight, in the long term, you are going to have problems sustaining it. And the cravings are going to be huge. The max amount of time I could sustain brown rice was like for 3 months and quinoa hardly 1 week. I gave away packets of it and even giving it away was so hard. Nobody wanted it. So if you can't sustain it for long, there is barely any advantage of eating it. You might save 50 to 100 calories every day, but the problem is cravings. When you don't like the taste of it, but still force yourself to do it, you are going to feel more cravings and overeat somewhere else. In the end, you will gain back all the weight you lost. If you are looking to control cravings, my number one advice will be to not follow a diet that you don't like or can't sustain. You are just making yourself feel bad and slowly accumulate the desire for more and more cravings that way. This is why people that lose weight, almost 95% of them gain it all back or become even more obese within a few years. So sustainability is super important. Is brown rice and quinoa sustainable to you for decades? If not, you can just measure white rice, create a small deficit and easily lose weight. Next thing people switch to brown rice or quinoa is for protein. The theory is white rice doesn't have protein, but brown rice and quinoa are rich in protein. I am not making this up. I am sure most of you have heard it or read articles like this. Let's go back and look at our chart. Brown rice has not even 1 gram more protein than white rice. Not even 1 gram. And quinoa has just 6 gram more protein. 1 egg has more protein than that. So if you add just 1 egg to your white rice meal, you will get more protein. If you are vegetarian or vegan, you can just add 12 grams of soy chunks to your meal and get more protein. Trying to choose quinoa for protein is like choosing watermelon to get water. By the way, all this applies only if you don't like it. If you like quinoa and are finding yourself short on protein, go for it. Another reason that is widely popular is that the glycemic index of white rice is so high than the glycemic index of brown rice and quinoa. So if you eat white rice, the level of insulin is going to be super high. There is some truth to this, but it's not as simple as white rice increases insulin and you get fat, or brown rice and quinoa don't increase insulin and you don't get fat. It's not that black and white. I just started explaining more on how glycemic load is more important than glycemic index, the formula of glycemic load, the differences in combining it with protein and fiber, and realize it's a long rabbit hole and has a lot of technicality that probably a lot of you don't really want to know. In the end, the point is more than the type of sugar or carb, how much of it you eat, if you are eating it alone or combining it with other things like fiber, protein or fats, matters. One small candy, even though it has a high glycemic index, is not a problem when it comes to insulin. For small candy, your body produces a small amount of insulin. As the amount of sugar or carb increases, only then a lot of insulin is produced and comes in the way of your fat loss process. Keeping this in mind, if you are going to stick within your daily carbohydrate target, it does not matter if it is white rice or brown rice or quinoa, unless you are someone with diabetes or autoimmune disorders or some other disease. What's more important though when it comes to fat loss is sustainability and satiety. Satiety is how you feel after eating something, like do you feel full or crave for more food. This is where white rice clearly outscores brown rice and quinoa. You feel good after eating it. You feel sated. It's one of the top satiating foods in the satiety index list. If you have tried losing weight, you will understand how important it is to manage cravings. In fact, if you look at the list, you can see most of them are carb-heavy foods which you are not supposed to eat according to a number of experts. BS. So which is the best? The real answer is it depends. But such diplomatic answers hardly help anyone. So if I were to give some real helpful takeaways, it would be to eat brown rice or quinoa if you can sustain it for long. Not days, not months, but years. Maybe forever as a lifestyle. But you don't need it to lose weight or add more protein. Those are rubbish reasons. If you enjoy it, eat it. If you don't like them, just stick to white rice within your calorie targets and add some protein, fats and vegetables to it. Usually I add vegetables in my curry and pair it with some egg white omelets and fish. This is high in protein, rich in healthy fats and helps control portion size and keeps me overall full. If you are a vegetarian, no problem. Just make some curry with beans, tofu or lentils, add veggies and low-fat yogurt to it and you are good to go. Here's a real example. If you can eat 2000 calories in a day, 1000 calories is from carbs, then eating 100 grams of white rice, which is 360 odd calories, is fine. Hope this helps. Thanks.